Greetings people of YouTube, and today I'm really excited to be bringing you all not a Transformers review, but a review on the Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home Green Goblin. Now, I am not an avid Marvel Legends collector. I currently own like 2 Marvel Legends, but a couple of things that you guys don't know about me is that I love Marvel and I especially love Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. In no small part thanks to Willem Dafoe's performance as the Green Goblin, he was badass. And of course, as a result, I do love Spider-Man No Way Home. After the hype had died down, I liked it a little bit less, but still a fun movie regardless. And this figure I am just super excited for. You can see at the front of the box, there's a really cool product shot. On this side, another product shot of him in a vanilla pose, Marvel Legends logo right there. At the back, you see some more product shots of him and his accessories. On this side, a really cool render of Green Goblin, which I'm pretty sure this pose is trying to replicate. That's pretty cool. At the top here, we got a Spider-Man logo. And at the bottom, no different from my Transformers figures. So yeah, I'm sorry if you guys don't care about this, but I am really excited. And why don't we just crack this thing open? And here's the Marvel Legends Green Goblin out of his packaging. And my oh my, does this figure look incredible. The amount of details present on this figure is just immaculate. But when we come to the playability of the figure is when it kind of falls apart just a little bit. There it is. And without any further, why don't we just get straight into his accessories. Old Gobby comes with this pumpkin bomb, a pair of interchangeable heads, and his signature glider. Later on, I will show how this glider implements within the figure, but for now, let's just admire it, and my goodness, this thing is so cool. The wingspan of the thing is quite impressive. It's about as big as the figure itself, and along with featuring nice details, it also has 2 points of articulation, hinge joint here and a hinge joint here. Sadly, I don't know if it's just on my copy, but they can't close all the way. It's always gonna look kind of wonky and asymmetrical and kind of annoying, but not that bad. And yeah, here's a nice panning shot of the glider right there. He also comes with this teeny tiny pumpkin bomb, which is pretty terrifying. At this point, I'd rather have an interchangeable hand with a pumpkin bomb sculpted in it rather than it just being a separate piece. It is fairly nicely detailed and painted, so I guess that's pretty cool. And you just want to make him grip the pumpkin bomb like that, and that's pretty easy. Not gonna fall off whatsoever, so that's great. I gotta be honest, if you can, just leave it here forever. Kind of a pain to get out, and it's just not gonna get lost if you keep it in his hands. And lastly, he comes with 2 head sculpts. One of them is this Green Goblin helmet. Looks incredible, absolutely dead on to the movie design. It does look a bit too big, and the fact that his neck is showing underneath here is kind of annoying, so I honestly think this is better off as a display piece for the figure to hold, and the head that I will display this figure in will definitely be this one. So let's see what we have here. This particular head is split into 3 different components. You got the hood piece, his goggles, and this incredible Willem Dafoe head sculpt. Little bit of a funny story here. I was looking down at some pictures of this figure on my phone, and my friend beside me immediately recognized this as Willem Dafoe. It does look great, doesn't it? But if I have a little problem with it, I think it looks a little too young. Well, whatever. Still better than the figure version. And there's a total of 4 different ways you can display this head sculpt. Head with nothing, head with goggles, head with hoodie, one of my favorites, and finally the complete set. Putting on these accessories should be pretty self-explanatory. It's not that hard at all. Goggles hang on just like so. Pop inside this hood. That simply plugs into this ball joint. Yeah. And here's Gobby with his full-on goggles with hood display, and this looks awesome. Undoubtedly how I will display this figure. Kind of a shame that he didn't come with any interchangeable hands or other weapons or something like that, especially for the price. But what we got here is great enough. What's also great about this figure is definitely how he looks. And yeah, why don't we just get straight into his details? And comparing Gobby here to the render that we saw in the packaging, I think the details just speak for themselves. This thing just looks dead on to the movie, and I love how he looks. All the intricate mechanical details of the suit are captured incredibly nicely here, as well as painted with a good amount of precision. I already took a look at the head sculpt, so we don't need to talk about that again, but the rest of the figure is definitely worth looking at. I mean, just see it for yourself, man. It's awesome looking. The bits of armor plating, the miscellaneous missiles, this thing is just thick down in details, and I cannot praise it enough for that. Even the hood here has some nice texturings going on. It is is removable, by the way, but I do not recommend it, and it is quite difficult, so yeah, just leave it on. It looks better like this anyway. I do have a gripe though, in that these spikes are made out of super bendy materials, making them very easy to unline and really pliable. I'm sure there are certain tricks with hot and cold water that you can do to this. So yeah, undoubtedly this figure looks fantastic, but he feels quite terrible to play with, to be honest. Okay, first off, normal vanilla pose. I don't know why, I don't know how, but these feet are a nightmare to stand on, especially on this cloaked surface. You can see that he... No. Alright, so I will try and give it some effort now. And will he stand? He will stand, look at that! When he stands, he looks awesome, but when he doesn't, just doesn't. A combination of these wobbly thighs, the weirdly indented, ratcheted ankles for some... Why is that? Perhaps some other factor that we'll encounter while we're taking a look at his articulation. His head is on a dumbbell joint, so you can move it all over the place. Like you can look up that far. That's not the best. Let's see without the hood here. Yeah, still not great. And you can see what I mean by dumbbell joints, right? They look like little dumbbells. The goblin head, however, can look up quite a bit. That's not bad. He's got a rotation at his shoulders. Be careful with these cloak pieces. Move out that far. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows that bend in all the way. Wrist swivel that is a bit tight. Ball joint at his torso. Punch forward that far. Back that far. Little bit of diaphragm pivot. Kick forward that far. He can do the splits. These legs are also on weird indented ratchet joints. I really don't know what the hell is the deal with that. Anyways, you got a loose thigh swivel. Double jointed knees that also bend in a lot. Ankles move down that far. Up that far. Indented ratcheted pivot. And it also kind of pivots on a weird angle. And finally, no ankle rotation. Ankle rotations aren't usually necessary, but I mean, with a figure like this, with an accessory like that glider, even Mr. Knight has it. What the f? So yeah, the articulation on this figure does leave a little bit to be desired, especially with that. But I do think that he's still an awesome figure to look at. Not that fun to play with, unfortunately, but he still looks cool. And I'm also hoping he looks cool in these size comparison shots. Here's Green Goblin next to a fellow scientist, the Transformers Studio Series Bumblebee movie Wheeljack. Comparing him to another Marvel legend of mine, here's the Infinity War Ant-Man. I'm grateful that at least this figure is not as floppy as this figure. I mean, I don't even dare to stand him on his own now. Comparing him to a regular 6-inch scale figure and another Marvel legend, here we have the Marvel Legends Mr. Knight from Moon Knight, which is hands down the most solid and fun to play with Marvel legend that I have. He'll definitely keep... See? He'll definitely keep his job as the regular 6-inch scale figure. And finally, the only spider-themed character in my collection, the Transformers Legacy Tarantulas. Ironically, I think these two will go along really nicely. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself. Really? Then we'll get along just fine. I can't do the laugh. And to make up for the lack of a transformation segment in this video, because he's not a transformer, I'll dedicate this time to show you how to put this guy in his glider. First off, take the glider, take these out, they'll come into play later. Flip the glider over and you'll see a huge slot there, which will be filled with either one of these ball points. This one's shortest, this one's tallest, this one's middle. For the purposes of this video, I'll use the tallest one. A bit of a tight fit, but just persevere, and there you go. I'm sure this stand is reused from like a Star Wars Black Series figure or something, but I don't know what that is. So if you do know about that, please let me know in the comments below. And fortunately, now the glider is adjustable. This is on a ball joint, so you can move it all over the place. Now take your normie figure. Each of these glider sandal pieces have an indicator underneath them, so you can see that it is for the right foot. There you go, I think you can see it now. Both feet have a peg hole right there. So just attach it like so. Oh no. Like so. There you go. Same thing on the other side. There you go. And now you want to get him into a cool crouching position or something like that. And align these two peg holes with these two slots here. They're on a sideways hinge joint, so just be wary of that. And I'll do my best here. It's going to be such a nightmare to do on camera. There. And that was not as hard as I had expected, and words cannot describe how amazing I think this looks. Ball joint is a little bit loose, so balance is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but once you get it in there and get him in a proper pose, it looks incredible. I don't have any other word to describe it with. This almost makes him seem worth the price. And I will do a striker pose segment if this guy wasn't so darn hard to stand, even on the glider here. So I'm just gonna get him in one cool pose and be done with it. There you go, look at that, just doing a pumpkin bomb, that's pretty cool. And there goes my review for the Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home Green Goblin figure. The best way as to how I can describe this figure, it's a fantastic figure that I just want to look at and leave it on shelf forever. Undeniable that there are some expert hands involved with the making of this thing, but I just cannot touch this figure again or it will. So, do I recommend him? Well, if you're a huge Spider-Man fan, then it's not even close. This thing is amazing. Go get him, man. But if you're not a primary Marvel Legends collector like how I am not, I'd say this figure is a pretty easy pass, but because I am a huge fan of the Sam Raimi films, I have zero regrets in getting this figure at all. Really, really grateful to have this figure. And yeah, I hope you guys would recommend this review to everyone else. Please do leave a like, a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And hopefully I will see you all next time. Goodbye! So I'm just gonna say here that this will probably be my last toy review of the year, but it won't be my last video of the year. Next week and the week after, I will do a recap video and a top 10 video. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun.